It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. If this is your very first time tuning into the Divas, a huge welcome. The Divas That Care is now in its 12th season. We are listened to in over 30 countries around the world, and we have a huge network of amazing women that also have podcasts on our program. So make sure that you check all of those amazing women out at divasthatcare.com. We have a wide variety of hosts, guests, you name it. Good for every person out there. They're so inspirational. So we want you to check them out, support them, and you know what, collaborate with them. That's what it's all about. All right, today I'm excited. I'm going to be welcoming a brand new diva to our family. I've had the opportunity I was introduced to her actually by another friend of mine, which I'm really excited about. She's just means the world to me. And our guest today is Mary Ellen. And Mary Ellen, I am so excited to have you. You are absolutely inspirational. I have gone through your website. I have seen some amazing things about you, and I'm beyond excited to welcome you to our family.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and thank you to all the listeners who are listening. I am just so blessed to be here.
Oh, we are really excited to have you. There's so much that we can learn from you, but before we kind of dive into that, would you mind introducing yourself to all of our listeners today?
Yeah, that's fine. I am Mary Ellen Saganovich, and you can always reach me through my website at askmaryellen.com. I don't know why I didn't use Saganovich in there, but it's just Ask Mary Ellen. Now, I am a writer of truth books on truth, not fact or opinion. Actual truth that you can live your life by. Now, I came to write books on truth because of all the trials and tribulations I went through in my life growing up. Of course, we all do. And at the age of 6, I was diagnosed with epilepsy and told almost every day that I couldn't get married, couldn't have kids, couldn't do this, couldn't do that. And, of course, like any other kid, I just kind of thought, well, you know, I can, and I always knew I had God surrounding me, and my faith uplifted me, and the angels. And, you know, so I did get married. I do have a daughter who is now climbing the 7 summits of the world, so she's fantastic. And at the age of 36, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And once again, I just sat back, and I said, okay, I handled epilepsy. Now let's see how I can handle this. Now, it's been a little bit more difficult because at the time I was diagnosed, there were no medications for MS. So I had to find natural ways for my MS to be controlled or to be managed, okay? So I studied Ayurvedic healing, Chinese herbs. I began my spiritual search as to what I needed to learn for me because I know God didn't put MS in my life to hurt me. He put it in my life so I could learn about Mary Ellen, so I could take my arms and embrace MS with love, not that anybody should love having MS. Please don't hear me wrong. And I could embrace it with love and break it, and I could take all the fear about MS and throw it away, and day by day get stronger and stronger. And I teach people to be real, and REAL stands for really enthusiastic about life. Because when you're really enthusiastic about life, you stay positive, you stay focused, you do a little bit every day to inspire someone or to complete your purpose. And it is such a big part that we should all shine our light upon the world.
I love that. You know, I've been watching some of your YouTube videos, and I just absolutely love them. And they're so positive. And you're really wanting to help so many people out there. I want to ask you why you decided to, you know, even do things like that.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I didn't decide by myself. You know, I taught middle school for 15 years, 7th or 8th grade, and I always taught in the inner city for some reason. I enjoyed it. So when I retired from teaching and married my husband that I have now we're married about 24 years, God started telling me these vignettes that are in my first book, Healing Words, Life Lessons to Inspire. And I kept hearing them. And because I knew I had to write a book, but I thought it would be on teaching or education or making education better. Well, I started hearing these vignettes, and I said, look, tell these things to somebody else. Nobody's going to listen to me. Look at me. I got like bright blonde, glow-in-the-dark hair, long fingernails. I mean, please, no, I can't do it. And God said, yes, you can do it. He did. I mean, you don't want to fight with God, right? So
exactly.
I wrote down everything I heard from awareness through to faith and forgiveness, and it became my first book, which is Healing Words, Life Lessons to Inspire. Now, this is a book to wake people up because I teach a philosophy of one finger out, three fingers back, meaning the good you see in others is the good you have inside yourself. And conversely, the things about other people that totally hook you or bother you are God's way of showing you what you need to work on in yourself. So all of these vignettes and healing words are there to wake people up to themselves because you can only be aware of yourself. And when you become aware of yourself, you gain peace. So and to do healing words, to get that out there, I had a publisher that did it, and my publisher said, well, you got to be on Facebook. You got to be on social media. Now, this was back in 2011. This book came out. The second edition was released in 2018. And I said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I started thinking, well, what can I do on social media to promote healing words and be positive? Because so much on social media is so negative. So I came up with doing a truth of the day. So since 2011, I've been posting a truth of the day, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And you know, those truths of the day became my second book, which is Taking Responsibility Unleashes True Healing. And in this book, they're all brand new truths. And that's a book of 366 truths to guide you through any year of your life. Not, like I said, not facts or opinions, because our society misuses the word truth. A truth is something that never changes. Like what you focus on expands, what you think about happens. You're never upset for the reason you think. All of those are truths. And then in my latest book, Truth Lives, there are 120 brand new truths to, again, guide you along in your life.
And you've really been inspiring so many individuals. You know, I know you've been on some other podcasts and online interviews, and it's always amazing how in-depth your conversations get.
Yeah, and it's interesting because people, you know, you think you're living by truth because you're living by what you've been taught. And so many of our societal teachings, as I call them, are erroneous. They're incorrect. Like if you think about our society teaches you to worry about your kids when they're older. Well, if you've been a good parent and you've brought them up right, why should you worry about your kids? And worrying about anything will never fix it. It won't change it. So worry just causes you to have a headache or whatever in your life. So anything, I teach people to come from love and drop fear. Anything positive is always love-based, and I mean unconditional love. No expectations, no motives, no judgments. Fear is always negative. It is worry, it's stress, it's anxiety, it's you should be this, you should be that. Well, what if? But, you know, fear needs to be dropped. It's false expectations appearing real, and it needs to go away.
And isn't that what we need to hear? Because we don't sometimes really take that in to ourselves. And I want to ask you, you do have 3 books out there right now, currently. Have you been part of some anthologies?
Yeah, I was part of Carolyn Shearer's book, Women Will Save the World. She asked me to write a chapter for her, and she put me in the chapter of Stronger. I thought that was funny. And there are some Inspire Me Today had me on there a couple of times, and they've had people like Deepak Chopra and very, very famous people. You know, so I've written articles for Fun and Fit, Conversations Live magazine. My Truth of the Day is heard through Conversations Live radio network and iHeartRadio all over the world every day. I record them once a month, and they go out every day. So I'm humbled and proud that these truths are getting out there, because this is what we need. We need actual truths, not just facts or opinions.
You know what? I agree with you. It's really important to hear good. You mentioned before, there's a lot of negativity out there, and I think people get overwhelmed. They focus on the negative. They have negative energy surrounding them. If you can put some positivity into your life, read good books, do so many things that are going to impact your life in a positive way, then things seem to be better.
Exactly. I have clients that I work with also, and I teach them, you know, before you get out of bed in the morning, be grateful for 3 things, you know. And before you go to bed at night, have some kind of gratitude journal that you can say 5 things you're grateful for that happened that day. 5 different things, not the same things every day. Because you want to put those positive thoughts into your life. You want to put, and as we get older and older, you know, so many people, when they retire from their job, they lose their purpose. And I had a truth of the day over the weekend. You know, your job is not who you are. It's what you do. You are an amazing, powerful, you are much more than just your paying job. Of course, we all have to get paid for our work, you know, to have money. And what is your true purpose in life? How can you shine your light? What can you do to inspire someone today? What can you do to uplift yourself and anyone else along with you?
I love that. I live my life like that each and every day. I think it is so important. We need to leave this world a better place than I always say that we came into it. Mary Ellen, I have another question for you, because you do a lot of things. You don't just write books. You're not just a speaker. You don't just do this. You have other things that you do. Can you share a little bit about that with us?
Well, like I said, I have clients that either come to the house or Zoom or Skype or whatever, depending on what feels good for them. I, of course, write the books. I write articles. I'm writing my Truths of the Day right now. I have them written through May, and I just don't write these. That's what people don't understand, because I think people used to think I just woke up in the morning and write it. And I put myself in a quiet place with my meditative music on for me. And I ask God, okay, what do you want the world to hear? What could I write today? And these words, I actually hear them. And I teach people to, you know, there is no death. Energy simply changes form. After my father passed away, I learned that clearer than any other time, because I can actually, you don't necessarily hear that person, but you can feel them. And they will send you signs that they are with you. You have to be aware of that, and you have to, first of all, be aware of yourself. You always have to take everything back into yourself.
That is amazing. Mary Ellen, I have a question. You have a blog that you're doing, I think it's about every 2 weeks here. How can our listeners go and read that? You know, you mentioned that you're on iHeartRadio and they can listen to your truths, but is there a way that they can go and read some of these amazing blogs that you have out there?
Well, I just usually do them and send them over to my website, lady, because I'm not that tech savvy, trust me. And they're posted on my website at askmaryellen.com. So if they'll check on there, and my Miracles with Mary Ellen videos are on there, and some of my interviews are on there, they'll see about 5 pages of really different, inspiring things that they want to read. And if they have a question, they can put a question in there. If there's anybody that I can help, please, you know, go to Ask Mary Ellen, get my email, send it over, or my cell phone's on there also, so you can connect with me.
That's perfect. And we will definitely be posting all of that information on all of our social media. So, Mary Ellen, one of the things I always ask our amazing guests that come on our program is if there is there any tool, something that can really help them through their day?
Well, like I said, you have to always take it back into yourself. And one of the tips that I was getting when I was studying at the Atlanta Awareness Center, and one of my instructors, who was supposedly of a higher consciousness, which I understand now, she came up to, because I was going, my first husband had left, I'd been diagnosed with MS, there were all these things hitting me at one time. And so I went up to her telling her, like, all my problems. And she looked at me and she goes, well, Mary Ellen, the problem is you see a problem. Oh, Candace, I was so mad. I went home and I was just livid. I was like, and in the middle of the night, I sat up and I said, she's right. The problem is that I see it as a problem. And when I see it as a misperception or something that I can take it back and learn about me from, then I don't have to keep going through the same situation. Because even in a relationship, when you don't learn about yourself, you end up going through that same relationship over and over and over again. So you have to always look at a problem as a misperception and learn about yourself.
Love that advice. And I'm going to take that and share that with so many people because I think it's so strong. It's not something that I think a lot of people think that way. And thank you so much for sharing that one with me. Mary Ellen, what is next with you? What is going to be taking place with you in the future?
Well, I have 2 more books coming out in the Truth Lives series that I have outlined. I haven't put them on my little computer yet. So I know I have that to do. Other than that, I'm waiting for, someone hears me and goes, yes, our radio station could use those truths of the day, or our TV show, or whatever. I know they will be picked up, and I keep grabbing. You have to look at every opportunity that God puts in your way. And right now, if you tell your subscribers to go, I have a YouTube channel that is Ask Mary Ellen. I only have like 50 subscribers, and you need 100 to advertise it. So until I get 15 more subscribers, I can't advertise it. So if you guys could go to Ask Mary Ellen on YouTube and be a subscriber, that would be awesome.
We will definitely be sharing that. And Mary Ellen, one of the things you can do is please post that on the Changemakers Cafe, because all of our amazing guests are a part of that groups for collaboration. And I know that they would love to learn more about that and to like and subscribe to you.
Okay, that's Changemakers Cafe?
The Changemakers Cafe, yes. And for all of our listeners, we love having women into that program. There's a whole bunch of amazing guests that we've had on our program that you could collaborate with, and they always love getting to know you.
Oh, that is wonderful. Thank you so much, Candace.
You are so welcome. Mary Ellen, I have had such a great time. I love what you are doing. You are truly an inspiration. I love that you're speaking truth. I know that our listeners really appreciate you. And, for everybody that's out there, make sure that you share, like, and comment with this program. We are listened to in so many different podcasting stations around the world. And it's really important that all of our listeners do that so that we can support amazing people like Mary Ellen. So thank you so much for coming on to my program today. I had a blast, and I hope that you come back on again in the future.
Oh, I will definitely. Just let me know when you want me.
And maybe we'll be able to share some of those truths on our program, too.
Yeah, you are such a blessing. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And I hope that each and every one of you has a fantastic day and that you remember to do something kind. Until next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.